Bookworm with Manat and Sarah. Friends, my name is Manat and today we're going to read Claire and the Unicorn. Let's start to reading. Claire and the Unicorn. Written by B. Hennessy. Illustrated by Susan Mitchell. Claire and the Unicorn. And they lived happily ever after. The end. Read Claire's dad as he closed the book. What made them happy forever, Daddy? Claire asked. Her dad laughed. I don't know. Claire, the book doesn't says. Why don't you think about it tonight and tell me what you come up with in the morning, he said. Claire plumped up her pillows, pulled up the blanket, and hugged her favorite stuffed animal, Capricorn, the unicorn. She closed her eyes, settled back into her pillow, and started thinking about what would make someone happy ever after. Right in the place about 3 miles from being awake and 2 blocks from being asleep, she felt a soft warm breeze on her face and a silky feel on Capricorn's back under her. Hold on tight, called Capricorn. Up we go, and off they went. Claire felt a little bump as Capricorn hooves touched the ground. They were in a beautiful forest. Let's go ask Capricorn. Ask who? Ask what, Claire? Said Claire. We will ask whoever we find first what makes them happy, said Capricorn. They'll ask one of them, said Capricorn. Who? Said Claire. Why, the fairies, of course. There's one right 3 above your head. He's the library fairy, said Capricorn, as he pointed to a tree branch with his horn. Claire's eyes opened wide. Good evening, Mr. Fairy, said Claire. I was wondering, could you tell us what makes someone happy ever after? What kind of someone? He asked Claire. Well, how about you? Claire asked Claire. Me? That's easy, he said. A good book and some peace and quiet. That's what makes me happy. Well, how about a princess or a prince then? Claire said. Do I look like a prince or a princess? Replied the library fairy. Who is the nearest princess? Let me see, he said, paging through his book. That would be for Princess. Ah, yes, she would be closet. Try the castle beyond those trees. Tower, bedroom on the left. Thank you, Sir Fairy, said Claire. Here we go. Hold on, wand. Capricorn as he leaped up to the tower bedroom balcony. "Oh my," said Claire, "I know who this princess is." Capricorn gently tapped on the window with his horn. "Come in," said the princess. "Good evening, Mr. Prince." Claire said with a curtsy, "Sorry to bother you, but my unicorn and I were wondering if you could tell us what makes a princess happy ever after." I'll tell you what would make me happy," she said. A nice, soft, comfy table, bed, and a good night's sleep. That's what would make me happy. I haven't slept in a wink since I got here." And she pulled the covers up right over her head. "Just a bed?" asked Claire. "No, not any bed. A nice, comfortable, soft bed and a princess. Not like this pile of rocks that I'm sleeping on." "I see," said Claire. "Thank you, Your Highness. Maybe we should go ask a prince," Capricorn whispered. "Pardon me, Miss Princess? Would you happen to know where we might find the nearest prince?" asked Claire. "Try looking by the pond in the garden," said the princess. The garden was beautiful ever at night, but there didn't see any prince. "Maybe he's not here," said Claire. "He could be a Goel'z," said Capricorn. "Who are you looking for?" said a low voice by the pond. Claire didn't see anybody. "Who said that?" she asked. "Over here, the turtle lily pad past the bridge," said the voice. There in the moonlight, Claire saw who was speaking. She giggled. "I know who this princess," she said, and she pointed to the frog on the lily pad. "Are you sure he's a prince?" asked Capricorn. "My book says so," said Claire. "Well, ask him then," said Capricorn. "Sir Frog, do you know what makes a prince happy ever?" she said. "What makes me happiness are nice, big, juicy." "Flies!" croaked the frog prince. Capricorn and Claire looked at each other. "Why, yes, I'm sure they do. Thank you, Mr. Prince," said Claire. "Pointedly soft beds and juicy flies," whispered Capricorn. "I'm glad I'm not a prince or a princess. Mr. Prince, could you struggle just someone else we might ask?" said Claire. "Let's see who knows about what makes people happy. You could ask Fairy Godmother. She might be able to help you." "She should be in the pumpkin patch," croaked the prince as he jumped off his lily pad and back into the pond. Fairy Godmother was trying out some new spells on the pumpkins. "Excuse me, ma'am," said Claire. "We were hoping, could you help us?" "Why, yes, dear. What would you like?" said Fairy Godmother as she pointed her wand at Claire. "We just have a question," said Claire. "We were wondering if you could tell us us what makes someone happy ever after. Fairy godmother smiled. My dad's it is an interesting question. Charming prince and the kind princess, Gold Beauty, but come to think of it, I don't believe I have ever heard that same wish twice. But if it is wishes you want to know about, ask the wishing well in the woods. I will think well, said Claire. Thank you very much. Hello, Claire called down the wishing well. Hello, hello, hello. The wishing well echoed back. We have a question, Mr. Well, said Claire. Ask away, answered the well. No change for questions. Can you tell us what makes someone happy ever after, said Claire. My dear, so far I have heard 62 wishes, and no one has ever asked me that, gurgled the well. Do you have an easier question? Not tough tonight, said Claire, who was getting very sleepy. Thanks anyway. We really didn't get any answers to our questions, did we? Said Claire to Capricorn. Well, we got lots of answers, said Capricorn. Books, bed, files, true love, lies, true love, and handsome prince, a kind of princess, peace and quiet. Maybe it's one of those questions that doesn't really have just one answer. The next morning at breakfast, Claire Dad asked her if she had figured out what makes someone happy ever after. It depends, said Claire. On what? Asked her dad. On who are you? Said Claire. A very tired princess may just want a comfortable bed. Another prince might be looking for true love. A frog prince would be happy with nice juicy flies. It all depends, said Claire. Her dad smiled a very wise answer. Clearly different things to make different people happy, even prince and princess, he said. Now what would make my little princess happy? He asked. Me, said Claire, happy ever after. Well, let's just start with what would make you happy for breakfast, answered her dad. How about some pancakes, said Claire.